try to come down in Indianapolis, come to Indianapolis, well, I got a friend down there, I'll see what's possible over her house, come down there. Instead of first year, I got to get full speed, right? Remember that thing throw hop. Yeah, that was pretty
Right there, that's the one we got.
Better say who you are. Mom Nanny.
I haven't seen.
He came to see the game. No, are you kidding me? Are you serious? What's happening? I can't work on
I'm trying to figure out who's behind the kid, but now I know. Real good, Julie. Hey, Tom.
Tom, you're a good guy now. You grew out of your high school, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Up and out. And I was late. Got something. I have a
want us to stay on and I'm going back home for school. Even though it takes 2 hours to get there, I'm going home. That's not there, you're going to get going early.
Yeah.
Look at all this stuff.
Hey, you want to see the first?
Like a big city, New Yorker, it's kind of surprising. She had been home a year ago, and she had planned not to come home this year. And I got a chance to talk to her, and I told her that there were going to be several years that they haven't seen her in 5 years. And at that time, she was kind of disappointed that she didn't get home. She said she's going to send us a letter, and it didn't get here before, or I didn't get it. I suppose we ought to get out through the list. Jerry Biggs. Jerry Biggs, we got a note from Jerry. Thanks, Steve. We got a note from Jerry. Jerry's selling leather goods. He's in Florida. That's his home base. And he's selling leather goods around, and he had several shows to go to. Could not be here this year. And as John said, since Jerry couldn't be here, and Ronnie Skelton couldn't be here, and somebody else, I forget, Larry Lane, we decided the pet band would not play. Gerald really wanted to. Ronnie's horny was ready. See, we'll just start with you, okay? And just tell us what you've been doing, what you are doing, what your kids are doing. Start with Ronnie.
So hard in the last 25 years ago, they did right to be married to the same woman. You guys were helping this out. What really happened in 1979 was I went after Pete in New York. He flew in there on a plane, and he made arrangements, and I got in there about 6:30 one evening, and I went to Bonnie's apartment, and he was there, and then we went downtown. We was up all night. That was an education for an old farmer. But anyway, that's that.
Tell them where she is.
She's down real close to Central Park. And being an old farm boy like I am, I wasn't real impressed. I didn't get to Central Park, but I was downtown on top of Twin Towers that time, but it was, got to the Statue of Liberty. That's it. Pete's the only way I ever got around that city. I got lost, man. Pete knew where to go. Pete was here in April, by the way, and he always stops in to see me, and I write to him, and he never writes back, and then I send him a red note, and he always writes back after I send him the last red notice. But anyway, he was here in April, and he's trying to work out another exchange with a professor here in the United States. He's going to come back over here. My daughter didn't graduate from IU this year. Got engaged this year. My son's going to graduate from high school, and he took after his mother, so he's pretty good looking kid. Other than that, just been so-so, still alive. That's about it, really. I had my ups, I had my downs, but lived through it all.
Well, most of you probably know I'm Jerry Snap. This is my wife, Carol. She's a 65 grad of Wabash High School, so she's a resident. I have a son that will be a senior this next year. He's 6'4" and plays in sports. I have a daughter who will be a freshman. I've been in education for 20 years now, and we'll be relocating this fall. I've had an offer already to be an assistant principal at a school down by Hanover College in Hanover Southwestern. I've been coaching for 20 of those years, a varsity coach for 14. I'm kind of debating whether I want to make that move in administration or not. I don't know. It's probably the best thing for me to do at this point, but I have that license, and that's just kind of in the air now, because I have interviewed for a couple of varsity positions that are still open, and coaching rackets, you got to kind of be mobile and move around a little bit. We're getting a little tired of that. So I'll be in education, whether it's at the administrative level or coaching and teaching area.
But Cheryl over here, I usually delegate talking to her.
education. I live over by Peru. I've worked at Square D as the quality control department, quality assurance manager now. I've been there 20 years. My wife will start teaching this fall. I hope she got her teaching license this past year. I've got 2 children, a son 7, a daughter 15. My wife's here primarily to find out ideas on how to raise daughters. Please share your thoughts with them. But we're just local people. We enjoy this part of the area. Probably die here someday. If not here someday.
I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. My wife Brenda here. We have 2 children now. Daughter's 5. We're going to kindergarten this year, and our son is just 7 months old. And right now I just switched jobs also. I'm now a controller of a printing company. My wife is also an internal auditor for Kellogg Corporation out that street. And we've been in Kalamazoo for the last 15 years. We've been together for 15 years. We just moved to another residence outside of Kalamazoo. We've got a little bit of acreage and a larger house for the expanding family. And people more freedom.
I never did get married. I'm still single. I'm working for Wayne for the television station, WPTA. Been up there for 15 years. Before that, I was in school, in the military, worked for Dental Tower for a while. Lived up the road now. Not all there is.
I'm going to add it, Jim.
This is my wife, Judy. We live in South Bend. I spent 15 years in Ohio, where I pastored a church there. 4 years ago, we came to South Bend. I pastored a church in South Bend. We have 2 sons. One of them is 20. The younger one is 17. I'll be graduating from high school this next year. It's good to see you all. It's been since graduation, since I've seen any of you, I think. And so it's good to be here and see you.
And this is the first time in 15 years that I've been able to get here for the 10th again. My wife Ellen over here, we got separated here. We have 3 children. Boy is 14, girl 13, another girl 8. We're in North Carolina, at Newport, North Carolina, which if you come down the coast, right in the middle of the coast is Morehead City. And just inland about 10 miles is Newport. I work for East Carolina University, and it's the Ball State of North Carolina. And they have a center at the Marine Corps Air Station at Cherry Point. I run that center there at Cherry Point. We've been there 10 years now, and it turned out that there's not a whole lot of difference between Eastern North Carolina and there is Northern Indiana. We've been very comfortable there. We've been there, didn't know a soul, and felt real good there. As it looks now, we may be there indefinitely. And I want to invite you all. I'll volunteer to host the 30-year reunion, but you got to do it in North Carolina. We can handle the crowd. That is a tourist area, so you're welcome to come down there.
Let's have it in January.
January will be a fine time.
Keith Weaver, I work in the REMC in Walway, in the line department. My wife Julia, we've got 3 kids. Julie just got married last year, the oldest. Randy, he'll be here next year. Jenny is sophomore. Randy plays baseball, basketball, Jenny baseball, or volleyball, basketball. And Randy's been pretty successful so far. He'll be somewhere. And we just good ball games and work. I guess that's about it. That's about the extent of it.
Next.
You know, King hasn't changed one bit. Screwy as ever. This has been 25 years since I've been to one. I've never been to a reunion before. I'm Dan Wilson. My wife, I'm supposed to be in Fort Wayne at 7:30. We're moving from the northeast part of town to the southwest part of town so I can be closer to my school where I teach. he's a coach and I'm a coach, and I'm moving closer to my school. It's Elmhurst High School. My family will be all able to go to that same school and be a part of that same school. It's been a little tough up until now. And I coach basketball and teach biology. Remember the frog dissection and all that nonsense? And that's what I do. I've been married for 21 years, and my oldest son, Brad, will be going into the Army Rangers in January of this year, and my youngest son, Mark, plays a little basketball and baseball, and he'll be a 10th grader this year. Thank God I'm here with all you people, and you're all still alive and doing well.
How's you living? 4 kids. Oldest is junior at Taylor this year. Next one is the only boy. He'll be a freshman at Purdue. We have another daughter, a sophomore at Northfield. The youngest one at NHS. That's the end of it. Thank goodness. What advices? They stink. That's why I come out here.
You say you got a daughter being 8th grader?
Yeah.
That's not the end of it.
Good start.
It's just the beginning. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Gene.
All right. Gene King. I have no children or wives at this time. I worked at the power company at the RMC for about 17 years. And left there about 5, 6 years ago and worked for Indiana Statewide, which is a association of all the RMCs. Was there for a couple of years and now work for the distributor to all the power companies in the Midwest. Up there, and live in Wabash. Stayed in Indianapolis for a couple of years off and on. Back up here now, like the rest of you know those. That's about the extent of it. Glad to see Dan again. I tell you, I felt bad about coming here tonight. I looked in the mirror and I seen how bald-headed I was getting. And God, you know, then I seen Jim and Dan and Jim. And God, I felt good. How good it is to see you.
I'm Don Curlis. I got a boy at 14, and I've been in construction about ever since I got out of high school in the Army. So that's about the extent of it. The boy says he wants to be in the Air Force and be a pilot. Maybe he will, I don't know.
Don's the strongest guy. Remember how strong he used to knock us off?
Don was my best friend.
Oh, you will?
I still work for GM. I'm married. I've been there about 12 years. I'm still married to the same wife, Carol, and been married over 23 years. I got a daughter. I got 2 kids. I got a daughter. She's 22, and she's got 2 different jobs. Sometimes she works for Unitory, but still works around here. She works for Unitory. And in the wintertime, she works for school. We got a boy here, 29, more. He's in between jobs now. Daddy's retired. And I got a boy, almost 16. He goes to Christian school. And just can't wait to get behind the steering wheel. Like all of us who are so low. My wife, she helps out at Christian school. Anything else? That's it.
My name's Bill Wilson. My brother's wife, Claire. We have 2 children. Danielle, she's 15. She's about a year driver's license. Daniel, she's just got married here a while back. From what I've heard, I'm gonna be a grandpa.
Ball State. The other daughter's 21. My wife, she works for me in on the security group. Live 6 miles north of Kokomo on 31, a town called Castro. That's about it.
My wife Dale. We live in New York right now, Corning, New York, which is nowhere near the city. It's in the western part around the lakes area. We have 2 children, 2 teenagers. We're also trying to learn how to raise a teenage daughter, who also just got her permit, so she's trying to learn to drive at the same time. I work at Corning Glass. I've been in the computer business for the last 15 years. I worked for Hershey Foods Corporation for about 7 years. And I coach a little softball with the girls on the side too.
Dave Erb, this is the first time that I've made a reunion too, man. So it's been 25 years since I've seen most of you. I'm currently a chaplain in the United States Navy, serving with the Marine Corps. I've been with the Marines the last 5 years. Currently I'm the senior chaplain at the Marine Corps Basic School in Quantico, Virginia, where all the new Marine Corps officers have to spend the first 6 months. I'm also the chaplain for the FBI Academy, which has the Drug Enforcement Administration as well, so stay squared away, will you? At least, but been in the Navy now for 13 years. Prior to that, I was an Internal Revenue agent for a while, until I saw the light. Pastored in Cape Girardeau, Missouri for about 3 years. I have 2 sons. My oldest son will begin University of Virginia this year. My youngest son is a junior in high school. But, you name it in the world, and I've probably been there in the last 25 years. It's great to be back here and see all of you.
I'm Nate Ackley. Work out at Fort Meter Box. I just got my 15-year pin the other day. That's about as much surprise as this 25-year reunion. For old folks, what I always thought. I guess it goes pretty fast. Bringing some of you folks up to date that haven't been around, I went to Manchester College. Right after that, I went to school for a year over at Royal Center. Went down to IU for a year in Asian Studies. Went in the Peace Corps for a couple of years. Back and farmed for a year, and then Fort Meter Box. So that's how I got where I am. I can say, the different places I've been, I really grew to appreciate this area. And Daryl and I were chatting before the meeting here, and we could say we got a real excellent education from the staff there. No, sorry, none of them are here. Probably not a day goes by where I don't draw on some of the stuff I learned back then, and I feel like what I learned back then put me where I am now. Human Resources Manager for Fort Meter Box. Try to straddle that and help out with the farming a little bit too. Like Jim, I'm not married. When they ask me about if you have any kids, Jim, you just say I have no children to speak of. And that answers
Wife Sharon, we got 3 boys between us. And I've got a welding repair shop. And they buy and sell little scrap wire down there. And, you know, things seem to be getting all right, so I don't know, keep doing that. Right, and we got right now, keep off of
I'm Nancy Crum. This is my husband Jack. We live about 6 miles north of Wabash on a farm. I work part-time at Middings Electronics, which is a Radio Shack dealer in Wabash. We have 2 boys. Ken will be a senior and Jeff will be a freshman at both Northfield.
I'm Sue Clarkson. This is my husband Jim. I work at White's. I've been there for 22 years, 18 as bookkeeper. He's in charge of pool maintenance there. He's been there about 4 years. Between us, we have 4 kids, 16, 14, 9, and 6. We live out by Southwood, to Jim's dismay, since he's one of these Northfield people, but he's managing. I sell a little Avon on the side, and we
Keith Ever, and this is my wife Melinda. We got 4 kids between us. One's 19, 16, 13, and 10. And the oldest one went to Wabash College, and the rest of them go to North Miami High School. And I've been a 4-meter boxer for 24 years. Same spot all the time. That's it. John?
I wanted to be last.
Jim did tell about his.
We got 2 kids.
I'm Pat Avery, and this is my husband Chuck, and I have one daughter. She's 20. I work at First Indiana Bank in Indianapolis, and we live at Whiteland. Quit making faces at me, Jim. And which is about 20 miles south of Indianapolis on 31. And my husband works at Indiana Gas. That's about it. But I want to ask you guys, do you remember when we had a paper drive or a scrap drive? John Wright was driving the truck. We wheeled into Penguin Point.
I remember that.
And Rosemary Barnett hit her head. And I think about that so many times and how much fun we had doing it.
I don't think so.
I didn't mean that part. I just meant the other part about having the paper drives and scrap drives.
Somebody was sitting in a
Shelling
washing
corn
machine.
and throwing it on the
There
south side of
was an
town.
old washing machine, somebody was sitting back there. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yes.
Old Ringer washer.
Yeah. Does anybody else recall any little things that we did like that in school that stick in your mind?
Remember the play that Gene King was in? The lines from the couch were supposed to be sticking.
He was Wilbur. Wilbur.
I think I was Mrs. Gooch in that play.
But you know what, when they asked you, you asked him, didn't you, John, if it hurt, and he made up these lines, only when I laughed. Oh, poor Miss Murphy.
I'm John Bright. Miss Judy, which was Judy Smith. He was a couple years behind me. We still live right where we have for 24 years, which is across the road where I lived for 18 before that. Don, you left something out.
Yeah.
You didn't thank me for getting you through algebra. But that's all right.
It didn't make no difference.
I'd like to expand on something that I think Jim or Dave said, I can't remember now which, but I think we're very fortunate when you look back through the class of 61 and 60 and 59 and 58, that we do have all of our members still with us. Maybe they're not here tonight, but we're very fortunate on that. Let's hope we can keep it up for the next time we get together. And as Steve said, we've had our ups and downs, we've had ours, and the downs are just about here, but we do have 2 very good sons, at least we think so. Jim's 23, he's taken over the farm, he's raising hogs, he's got, any place there's an empty stall, he's got it full of hogs right now. He's 23, the youngest son just turned 21 a couple nights ago, and he's with Dave Stoffer, which is just a half mile up the road, doing very well. We're very thankful for that. It's good to see all of you, and I hope we see you in 5 or 10 years again whenever we get together.
John reminded me, mentioning that, and Max suggested, on this, any money we got left over after expenses tonight, we're going to stick in an account. Max suggested, because Max Weiss now, their class, someone dies in the class, they send flowers. And I got to thinking that would be kind of nice. So if we got any money left over, that's where we go in the fund. And, well, I hope we don't have to do it. Also, for the next people coming along, it might be kind of nice to have a little bit in the fund to kind of pay expenses as you go along.
Hey, Jim,
Yes.
I forgot to say, Mike Sliker wanted to know why on earth you scheduled this for Super Chevy Summit.
Oh, on the pictures. Now, those of you who put your address on and want them mailed, I'll mail them to you. The rest of you, if you want to come, some of them I'll get around to you. If I don't get them to you, you may have to come and get them, okay? If you put your address on and want them mailed to you, I'll just mail them. If not, I don't know quite how to handle it. I guess if you don't come and get them in a couple of weeks, I'll try and get them to you.
Very much.
3 years old, okay? Just real quick through the rest of the class, some of these, maybe a lot of you already know. If you know more about these than I do, tell me. Dennis Propp's living in town here somewhere. I tried to call him. He lives on Falls Avenue, according to the phone book.
Most of the time it's on West Main.
Well, anyhow, nobody ever answered the phone. And Gene can maybe tell you a little more about this. You know, we were talking earlier.
And you know, the plane deal has never been one of our favorite subjects. Why the hell couldn't they put the rest of us on the one page and put that ad on? That's chatless.
Anyhow, Gene was talking, and Dennis has been, we've talked about up and down. Dennis had been in jail, and he's had some drug problems, he's had some high problems. But at any rate, he's still a member of the class, and we made every effort we could to get him here, and hopefully he would. And you were talking about Don being strong. I can remember Dennis probably throwing a rope over the rafters in Northfield and going hand over hand to the top. Right? And he pole vaulted. A lot of people didn't realize he was the athlete he was. Pole vaulted, and that's when they did it in sand on a little old pole, and he did it all with string. He just stood the pole up, climbed it.
It wasn't a fiberglass pole
No.
either. It didn't bend.
And where did he go? 12, 13 feet? Something like that. Anyhow,
He could twist the door lock and do it.
Connie Hall's in South Carolina. We didn't get a card back from her, so we assume it got there. She doesn't have a telephone. I called her folks, and she doesn't have a phone. Jerry Bell's in Poland, Ohio. He's a preacher over there. And whenever I called there, I got a recording that I was supposed to call another number, and I called the other number, and they'd say, this number has been disconnected. So I never was able to get a hold of him. Larry Lane, as far as we know, is still in northern Indiana, and the last we knew he was bad instructor. If anybody else knows other than that,
He's up and going to Ranger 2 years ago to Chicago. I talked to him.
okay, yeah, he was a band instructor. Is it East Chicago Center? Again, the card didn't come back, so we assumed that he got it. Okay, and it's an I don't remember the town. Do you remember
Church related.
Jay Sullivan lives in town here. We called him, and he's apparently working a lot of hours. He said he'd be here if he wasn't working.
I remember.
So, Jerry Tyson lives in Peru. He used to work for Chrysler. Jerry still works for Chrysler?
Yeah, I think he does, yeah.
And I called down there, and every time I called, I got someone else answered the phone. I got answered 4 times, and never got the same person. But each time I explained what it was for, I don't know whether they got the message or not. But Jerry was at the 20th, so I'm a little surprised he wasn't here. Mick Sloniker, Larry just told me where he is. He lives around Ambo.
He moved to Kokomo.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we don't have the right address on him.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. We didn't get your card back.
I got his right address.
Oh, okay.
He just moved.
Okay. Carolyn Weibel is in Texas, is that right?
Foley, Alabama.
Okay, we didn't hear back from her, but I assume that's where she is. Do you know anything about that?
I'm pretty sure she's still
Okay. Janet is in Florida. She really intended to be here. I think Max said she probably terribly disappointed. Her son was here earlier. He helped fix the meal, Andy. Janet has become a postmaster in Florida, and she had really, up until about Thursday night, planned to get on a plane and fly home, and then Andy's going back tomorrow. She was going to ride back with Andy, but the postal inspector showed up Thursday, and she just had been made. The postmaster moved on to another place, so that moved her up, and it was kind of a thing that she just don't leave. Too good a job to mess up. Andy is going to the University of Miami, no, Florida, University of Florida, I think. He's 23. They have another girl, Jerry, and she got married this summer. She lives in South Carolina, I believe. That's what she said. She married Les Terrell, and her and Les were divorced 4 or 5 years ago. He lives in southern Indiana. Rosemary, you saw the card go around. Kenny Alexander's in Wabash, and he started his vacation today and left. I don't know what that says. I don't know. Hey, Bob Kirby, and I'm surprised Bob isn't here, other than he told me that if he came, he was going to have to leave early. And I think probably what happened, he got held up so long directing traffic that he couldn't get down here and get back. So he's a cop on the Old West Police Department. Susie right now, I don't even know Susie's address. We did send it.
I gave it to you.
Yeah, we've got it, but I don't know where. Now, was that Texas?
That was current.
Okay, she's in Texas. And we never heard back from her. Bonnie Kirby is in California. I got her phone number and called out there and got a hold of her. Anyhow, they had.
I just talked to Diane last night.
Okay, well anyhow, she had just got back from vacation and didn't want to leave, I guess. Told you about Jerry Biggs. Etta Stouter, I thought Etta said she was going to be here. We got a response from her that she would, Etta Lewis is her name now, she lives in town. And we got a response that she was going to be here, so. Linda Stackhouse lives in Fort Wayne, is that right? And we got no response back from her, so I don't know where she is. Karen Miller said she was going to be, Karen Frank said she was going to be here, but she lives down here. We were talking about how many of us still live. Yeah, okay, area. We were talking about how many of them live in this area. There's still a bunch of us here. Susie Hampton lives in Rich Valley, and I'm surprised she's not here. Becky Enyart, you said her husband, where's he work?
Oh, he worked for you.
Okay, and he said that they were coming. And that's Carol. Oh, okay, Carol tried to call him today, and I think that takes care of it. Okay. Oh, yeah, Carol and I, after high school went to Ball State, I taught 7 or 8 years at Swayze Elementary in 74. I bought in with Carol's dad in a partnership with the farm. We've got 3 kids. My youngest one, my daughter, is graduated from high school this year. She'll be going to Purdue. I have my middle son he will be an old junior at Purdue. It'll be his 4th year, but he's still a junior. And then my oldest son, Tony, graduated from Purdue a year ago in the spring, and he's in Atlanta, Georgia, works for Kraft Foods. So keep buying that mayonnaise. Doesn't like Atlanta particularly, likes his job. We think we'll get him back to the Midwest at least sometime. What am I leaving? Oh, we got to find somebody to do this in 5 years. And if there's any volunteers, which they talking to her, it probably needs to be somebody at least close. But like we said, that's 30 of them. We said Nelson's done his time, Nate's done his time, Nancy's helped with all of it. So, any volunteers? We appreciate it. If someone, again, I really appreciate the number of people that showed up.